to introduce Mitzi. She's going to be our speaker. Mitzi is the owner of Handy Girl Home Improvement. This amazing woman has been in business since 2007. She is a charter member Rotarian of the Sunshine Rotary Club of Frederick, Maryland for 25 years. She holds multiple licenses. One's a home improvement contractor license, and the other is a commercial improvement contracting license. She is 15 years member of the National Association of Remodelers. Clients are amazed how when they're done, the home is cleaner than it was before. Normally people are upset because the contractor leaves a mess, but not Mitzi. She has grown her business with her honesty, integrity, and the values that she holds. That's why her business just continued to grow. And I'm proud to introduce Mitzi Hamilton.
So we're a small group, so I'm just gonna do it this way because I just feel more comfortable. The name of this seminar that I'm doing this morning, I've done numerous times. It's called Kicking Ass and Taking Names. It's not what you think it is. You know, when we start our businesses, all of us in here, you know, run our own business, have our own business interests. And when I started this business, I grew up in an environment where if you were a woman in a non-traditional role, which is what I am because there aren't a whole lot of women that do construction, I always thought I had to be like a man to succeed. You know, I had to take on male tendencies, I had to have that aggressive personality, I had to be forceful, and so that's the whole, you know, kicking ass and taking names, because men have a more dominant presence in my industry. So it's taken me 16 years to figure out that that's all bullshit. You don't need that. What we need is what we call soft skills. And we all have those. We're born with them because we're all natural nurturers. You know, and soft skills give you the ability to have eyes in the back of your head and see Johnny pulling, you know, the dog's tail over here from behind you. It's the ability to multitask. Most women don't even realize how gifted they are in doing 19,000 things a day. It's just natural to us. So in my business now, I realize I don't have to be as aggressive. I don't have to be as forceful. So in a sense, if you're not confident with yourself, you can't project confidence, and you can't train employees, and you can't be that person that they can come to. I mean, I always say the same thing. You know, my door is always open. You can always talk to me about things, but because I am in a male-dominated business, I intimidate a lot of people. I come off as aggressive, assertive. I've been told I'm loud, I'm to this, I'm to that. Whatever it is, whatever they've told you, fuck them. Don't believe it. Because whatever you want to achieve, you can. Using your own set of skills, what you have to know what you do well. You know, if being soft-spoken works for you, and in your industry is what is going to get you where you want to be, then use that. You know, don't be afraid to be who you are. You have to be comfortable with yourself. That took me 16 years to figure out. Because I didn't come into this industry going, yes, I want to hang drywall, yes, I want to paint. I worked for the federal government when I first got out of college. I sat in an office. I was, you know, wearing a monkey suit every day. I drove to DC. I traveled various countries. And then when I hit almost 30, I was miserable, unhappy. I had ulcers. It wasn't who I wanted to be. So I had a huge, midlife crisis at 30. And I decided that I wanted to do something completely outside the box for me. I was extremely feminine. I would never even go get mail without my makeup on. And I decided I wanted to do HVAC work. Crawl around under crawl spaces and climb in the attic. Going through a divorce, I had to change. And I remember my husband saying to me, oh yeah, that's gonna work out real well with your fingernails and your makeup. So it kind of motivated me to do it because he said I couldn't. So I got my license, started working. Yep, hated that too. It's hot. Did you know HVAC work is hot? It means there's no air conditioning when you get there, right? I don't like hot weather. I hate hot weather. So I pivoted. And I think that's the most important thing that I want to tell all of you, especially in today's economy. If you're not looking at your business and saying, what can I do to survive in the next year? Now, look at it now. What is it going to take to survive a year from now or 2 years from now? I'm going to have to do different things in my business. I'm going to have to pivot. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect, that's right, the same results. So you got to do something different. And for me, I never used subcontractors. It was always my own employees. I've always had my own crew. Well, that doesn't work in today's economy anymore because nobody wants to work. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but recruiting employees was what almost put me out of business last year. I couldn't hire anyone. I had no crew. I got sick in August and September. I didn't work for almost 65 days. I paid my crew for a whole month, and then I had to let them go. They've been with me 11 years. I had to let them go. Now they have other jobs. They can't just walk back into me. So trying to hire was almost impossible. I've gone through more employees than I have underwear this year. You know, it's crazy. So what did I do? I had to pivot. I was either going to close, which I sold some trucks and I was getting ready to liquidate. And then I realized this is what I love. This is who I am. This is me. I am the handy girl. It's what I do. So I brought in another contractor, another licensed contractor and his crew. And we've been working together and making it work. And still trying to hire, still, you know, going through people, just not the right fit. So what I'm telling you is, I'm looking ahead, and you should be too, because this economy isn't getting better. It's flatlining. And prices are going up, interest rates are going up. If you're selling real estate, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's rough out there, and mortgages are really, you know what I'm saying? It's really tough. So depending on what your industry is and what you do, and if you do something that requires disposable income, like getting your face made up or makeup or massages or something, that's when people have disposable income. That's not a necessity. That's not food and rent, and even what I do is not a necessity. You don't need a new bathroom. You can live with the kitchen you have, you know, but if your door is busted, you got to call me anyway. But you're not going to buy the $3,000 door. You're going to go get a Lowe's version and put it in because that's what I got now. So when you look at your business tomorrow morning, please listen to what I'm saying. What is going to happen to me in 16 months from now? Is what I'm doing now going to sustain me? And if it isn't, what do I need to do to change it? And one of the most important lessons I've ever learned, and yeah, it took me a long time because I'm a little hard-headed, is find other women who do what you do, or other people in the industry, because I can't find any women that do what I do. I reached out to a male colleague, and we have had the best relationship because for years I thought what's happening to me, how I feel, how I respond to things is because I'm a woman. And I carried that around, that little nugget around with me every single day of my professional life. Oh, he just cussed me out because I'm a woman. Oh, he didn't come to work on time because I'm a woman. Oh, he thinks he can get over on me. When you find someone else in your industry who does what you do and they say, that jackass didn't come to work today, he's not saying because I'm a man. He's not saying they didn't finish this project because I'm a man. But I was walking around going, they didn't do that because I'm a woman. They didn't have this because I'm a, no. Lose that. Lose the fact that you're a woman. You know, you're a realtor. You're a successful entrepreneur. You're a bank lender. You're running a cosmetic company. You hang blinds. Period. Not because you're a woman, just because you run a business. People will do things to you and you absorb it based on your personal experiences. And for me, I was the only woman I knew that did what I do. So I didn't have anyone to soundboard off of. I didn't have anyone to say, hey, you know, has this happened to you too, or is it just me? So after all of these years in my, in my career, I decided I have to find other colleagues to talk about this with, even if it is a man, because they were very receptive. I mean, granted, whatever your industry is, you have to fit in. There's a certain lingo, there's a certain terminology you use, there's an atmosphere in every different trade. And in construction, we have a hierarchy. And I'm sure you do in yours too. You know, there's painters, there's electricians, there's masonry people, there's architects. There's a hierarchy in construction. So the higher you go, the more you can't use foul language and you have to like dress differently. But as you come down in the trades and you actually meet people who are doing the work, that's a different dichotomy going on between people. By the way, no one in my crew would know what dichotomy means, so it's okay. So you have to place yourself in the situations that you're in. So you have to adapt. You have to be there. And if you're selling pickles and the next booth is selling pickles, what makes yours different? Why should I buy yours? That's an answer you have to place with your business. I'm a licensed contractor. I do renovations. Other people do renovations, right? Why hire me instead of somebody else? 9 times out of 10, the answer to that question is always the same. It's you. How do you present yourself? Do they like you better than the last person they met? Did you make that connection? And that's all about sales. And anybody in here who's a salesperson knows that it all boils down to personality. First of all, if you haven't figured it out, I'm not from Virginia. So my personality is aggressive. It is assertive. It is fake it till you make it, really. I mean, if you don't know the answer to something, I'm going to say, I don't know the answer, but I'll get you the answer. However, when I present something, even if I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you're not going to know I don't know what the hell I'm talking about because I'm going to fake it till I make it. And that's what a salesperson does. That's what someone who's trying to sell you something does. However, there's that fine line. Are you a car salesman or you're trying to be like legit? And you have to make these decisions, and these are decisions that you've made probably 100 times and don't realize. You don't realize you've made them because you're succeeding, you're winning, you're here, you're interacting. You know the importance of networking. That's why you're sitting here. You know the importance of trying to get out and make that connection. You know, they used to refer to, and I don't know if Margaret Thatcher. They referred to her as the Iron Lady because with her position, she only knew how to do it like a man. But we don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to do that. And as long as you walk in confidence, honesty, and integrity, do I close every deal that I go out to get? Of course not. But I'm an 87% close rate. So if I meet you and I talk to you and I present my ideas to you, normally you will hire me. And if you don't, it's okay because we're not in competition with each other. Even other contractors. Never see it as a competition. There's plenty of work out there. It doesn't have to be as cutthroat as we all present it to be. And again, I take on that because I feel like I'm a woman, but that's not the case. Men lose bids, men don't get jobs, men get treated the same way I do in my position. But, you carry around that little nugget. So whatever the nugget is you've got in your head, you got to figure that out. My little nugget is I think everything is because I'm a woman. But that little nugget in your head, you got to figure it out and stop carrying it. Let it go. Am I out of time?
That was
You're looking at me.
excellent.
But you're looking at me.
Because you're so good.
So I'm just, I started this business, I told you, started with HVAC, got my license. And I didn't know, I did a state apprenticeship, for 2 years with a man, carrying around his tool bag, listening to his crap, taking crap. But I learned things, so did my state apprenticeship, and honest to goodness, and I don't mean this, it'll sound disrespectful, but it's really not the way I mean it, but it's what I carry. And I always say, if a man can do it, it can't be that hard. Damn, I know I can figure it out. Because as women, we have that soft skill set that men don't have. So I'm figuring if they can do it, there is no way in the world I can't do it because I'm going to figure it out. We raise children, we cook dinner, we clean the house, we interact 1,000 different ways in a multitasking situation that men know nothing about. So, it can't be that hard. What do I do? Mix up some grout? I can figure this out. Now I got YouTube, but I started a business that didn't exist. So, and you do what you have to do to make it. And I'm a licensed general contractor, which means that I've sat the state exam, and in the state of Virginia, you have 3 classes, A, B, and C. A means you can make $1 million or more. B means you're capped off at $500,000, and C is less. So in the state of Virginia, no disrespect to anybody who works there, but it's all about the money with the licensing thing in Virginia. So what I do is pretty much everything. I started out as a handyman with 143 apartments. So, I mean, I can change dishwashers out, I can do garbage disposals, I can put in windows. I was the vice president of Habitat for Humanity in the Fredericksburg district for 5 years. I built houses with a program called Women Build. We used all women volunteers and women contractors. I was the lead contractor on the first eco greenhouse in the state of Virginia. We built it with all green materials. So I can build you a house from the foundation up. There's not really anything I can't do. I can hang drywall, I can paint, I can do tiles, I can do wood floors. You name it, I can pretty much do it. And if I can't, somebody on my crew can. So we kind of work together as a team. That's why it's important to build the relationships that I have. Again, not a lot of subcontractors, and I'm always there when they start the job and always there when they finish it, if not on the crew when it's happening. So right now I'm currently in the middle of 3 bathroom remodels down in Lancaster, Virginia. So, and after that I'll be building her a deck. So that's what I do.
Where do you service?
Oh, you pay, I fly.
Okay.
I want to touch on a couple things. You mentioned, your value, knowing your value. We went through and did elevator pitches, I think it was last month, which I thought was absolutely so much fun, hearing everybody get up and talk about their elevator pitch. Tell me the importance of knowing your value and writing out your value statements, or how that impacts your confidence.
Well, I think once you know your value, you can project that into your business. And I'll give you a perfect example, which I think I shared with this group before, but I'll share it again. When I first started the business, I was in a position where I knew Carl Silver. He's also Jewish, and I am too. And he was part of my temple, and his cook got sick. So there was no one to cook Passover dinner. So the rabbi called me, because I'm one of the few people in the temple that keep kosher. So she was like, could you cook for Carl Silver while his cook is away? Sure. I don't know this dude, I don't know who he is. I didn't know he was a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know him, I wasn't from here.
Right.
So he calls me at 11 o'clock at night and summons me to his compound. And I'm like, dude, I've got school in the morning. I'm still doing my master's degree at this time. So I'm like, I can't come. And he's like, yeah, I'll see you in about an hour, leave the gate open. Click. And I'm like, okay. So I head over there and I end up cooking for him, which turned out to be a month because she was very ill. But I had my schoolwork and I had some estimates I was going to go do after I made him lunch. So I put my contracts on the table, and this ass takes a red pen and starts writing all over my paperwork. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, you're not charging enough. This isn't right. This is what you need to charge, and this is what you need to. And I'm like, ho, I can't get that kind of money. No, I'm going to lose this job. And at that time, it was, hand to mouth. I mean, I needed the money. And he said, well, if you don't get the job, I'll give you a check for that amount of money. You present that price and see how it goes. So I did. I was scared to death because it was like I was charging $450 and he said charge $1,100. So, I went, I presented it, I got the job, and then I knew my value. And I knew that at that point, I was worth $1,100 and not $480. And what he said to me really impacted me, because he said, are you only worth $450? Is that what you think this is worth for you? You're worth way more than that. And so is this job and what it entails. So if you know your value and someone looks at you and says, oh, that's too much money. For you it's too much money. I'm not the person for you. Yeah. But there is someone out there that I'm for, and there is someone out there that's going to pay $1,100. But you have to have enough confidence to walk away from that instead of going, oh, well, wait, I can probably No, there is no probably, there is no wait. Find the $1,100 person because I know my value.